Everyone glamorizes being successful in your 20s. Today's video, I'm going to give you the truth of what it's really like behind the scenes, because on Instagram you see everyone flexing their Rolexes and the Dubai holidays, and whilst you might consider me being a little bit of the stereotype, I am going to give you the real truth in today's video of what it's actually like, because I made my first six figures when I was a teenager, like 16, 17 years old. I left school early. I started my business really young. I have multiple properties now. I'm only 23 years old. I have a multi-six-figure coaching business with a team, staff, a great lifestyle that I'm so incredibly grateful for, and I'm all completely self-made. And I didn't come from a rich family at all. I have never had a single handout to me. I'm completely just built myself from the bottom up. My parents aren't entrepreneurs or business owners or anything like that, so I've really learned absolutely everything from the very beginning. So I'm gonna give you the truth of what it's like to be a young person who is successful. A lot of the time, it's not what social media shows you. First thing that you need to know about what it's like to be successful in your 20s is just how much of your youth you actually sacrifice. I sacrificed my entire teen years. I have never had a party phase. I've never been drunk or had a hangover or done drugs or any of these things. I've never partied. I've never taken the traditional route that everyone else has done. And a lot of the times that can be quite isolating and quite lonely to some people, but I've always known what my goals are. So I've had to make so many sacrifices to get to where I am today. You might see the work that I have put in over the years. You might see where I'm at today and think, wow, that's amazing. That would be so nice. She's so lucky. But it is so far from the truth. Like, if you really knew the amount of nights out I have missed out on, which I don't consider it being a missed night out because it's so worth it for the lifestyle that I live now, I think a lot of people would be truly shocked at how much work actually goes behind the scenes to be self-made and to actually build something of yourself. That moves me on to my second point, and that is a lot of people actually hate on people who are successful. That is because it makes people realize that they're not in that position, and they want to victim blame and say that, oh, they just got lucky, or that it's daddy's money, or it's a boyfriend's money, or something like that, when that is just absolutely not the case. And you see this all the time. Like, people hate rich people, which sucks, because rich people, honestly, I believe, be nice as people. And money doesn't change you, it just makes you a bigger version of who you already are in the first place. So if you're a bad person before you get money and then you get money, it's just gonna make you an even worse person. But if you're already a good person and then you get money, you're only gonna be even more of a generous person. But unfortunately, most people put rich or successful people in this box and they just like hate on them, which makes me really sad. It honestly makes you feel like you're kind of like working hard for nothing. And this is why you really have to be successful for yourself and not do it for other people. This next point is so important, and I really want you to remember what I'm about to tell you. This is probably one of the most important things that I will ever tell you, and that any business owner or entrepreneur will tell you in their lifetime. And that is, there is no overwhelming feeling of feeling like you've made it. And there's no overwhelming feeling of dopamine that you get when you hit a new goal. No such thing. Facing this success and having this idea of, oh, I will be happy when I finally get this car, or I hit this income bracket, or I achieve this. We all fall into that trap of saying to ourselves that we'll be happy once we reach a certain goal. But the reality is that we get there, and guess what? Nothing really changes. You kind of get there and you're like, huh, this isn't how I thought it was going to feel like. And every single business owner I know, we all have this conversation at some point or another. And that is why when every single business owner and entrepreneur talks about loving the journey, they're not kidding when they say that. You have to love the journey. The journey is what it is all about, and you have to fall in love with the work and the process. See, success is a game. We are all playing the same game. It's not against each other. We're all in our own game, but we're all playing the same. And you might look at me and think, wow, she's super successful. That's amazing. But I've simply just been doing it for longer than you have, and you can absolutely still achieve the success, but you have to start now. But that would be the main thing that I would encourage, is that no matter what level that you get. And trust me, I have friends who are multi-millionaires, and they all say the same thing. Like, they are a million miles ahead of where I am, much older and wiser and more successful in every single way than even I am. And they all say this to me as well, is that there's no such thing as feeling like you've made it. Money definitely doesn't buy happiness. You can get all these things, but if you don't have those foundations in life of the people around you, things that truly matter, you're always going to be having that feeling of not being truly fulfilled. That's something I really want you to take on board. It's probably one of the most important things I need you to understand when it comes to your business and your entrepreneurship journey, is that you'll never make it, but you always just keep getting better. So love the journey now, because this is the whole point. When it comes to being successful in your 20s, something that I find that can be kind of challenging is making friends that actually align with you. It is lonely at the top, but the people that you do meet on the top are unreal. When you're so passionate about business and making yourself better in entrepreneurship, you will meet those people along the way who do align, who you do get along with, and you have those same kind of values. And when you do meet those people, you hang on to those relationships, you try and give them as much information as you can, and vice versa, they'll do the same for you. And that can be life-changing things, and networking can be so powerful when you make yourself that kind of person that's worth knowing and that other people want to meet. Then naturally you will meet those people. But at the same time, guess what? These are only 1% of the population, so it can be quite difficult to meet those people. Not to mention, if you're a woman in business, a lot of guys won't take you seriously, and they don't actually know how successful you are. So I find being a woman in business in particular can be a little bit harder to navigate. But then again, of course, we always have our own set of advantages and disadvantages, but it definitely can be quite hard to make friends. Quite often it does feel like I'm always the one who's pouring into others and giving the advice, which can be quite difficult at times, because I always do want to have those people that I'm going to for advice, and you want it to be that mutual exchange. But those people don't live anywhere near I do. But whenever I am traveling, or if I do get the opportunity to see them or exchange messages over social media or texting, that's always the way that I'll always try and keep in contact and nurture those relationships. But it can be quite lonely. It can be very hard to make friends, because the only things that I think about is self-development and self-improvement. Like, I'm so passionate about it. Like, that's all that I want to talk about. So when I'm in settings where people don't have their own businesses, we really don't have anything else in common. So I find it really difficult to make friends, because business is my entire life. And the next one, I want to talk about the pressure that you feel when it comes to staying on top and to constantly being better. You get addicted to chasing goals. I love the journey. I love the feeling of being able to go after a new goal and set new goals, and it is so addicting. But it really does never end. And the kind of pressure you get when it comes to your own business and the anxiety that you get, like, I'm not someone who has anxiety, but as business owners, I think we all get anxiety from time to time, and it's so overwhelming. I think most people cannot handle that kind of pressure that you get from being a business owner. I personally wouldn't change it for anything in the world, but I think it's something that a lot of people don't understand. And when you are in your 20s, and I myself being 23, in my young 20s, and I've had my business since I was 14 years old officially, it's a lot of pressure for a young person, and I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it can be a really great thing. Pressure can definitely make you hard. Once again, it can be a good thing, it can be a negative thing, it depends. I love it, but there's a lot of sleepless nights. It's working 24/7. I mean, even now it's 4:30 p.m. on a Sunday. I'm filming YouTube videos. I just spent the past few hours editing videos as well. And that's all that I dedicate my life to, is just trying to grow my business as much as I can. And that's a conversation me and all of my business friends who, once again, who do better than me, we all chat about. And that is, one, you'll never feel like you've made it. And two, that constant feeling of anxiety, the fact that you could lose it all at any second, is always there, 24/7. Now, the next one ties into dating, and that is that dating becomes a lot more complicated for both genders. I know for men in particular, as soon as you have money as a man, all the women are going to flock to you for the wrong reasons. I see it on both sides. Obviously, I'm a female, so I hear the conversations that men don't hear, and I see my male friends who are successful, and I see the way that women respond to them as well. It is crazy for the guys, and as a woman in particular, I find it extremely hard because naturally women do want to date up and want to date a provider. When you earn great money as a woman, it just means your dating pool becomes a lot smaller. When you do want to date someone who is successful and who you can respect and look up to and admire and that you can learn things from, like the guys that I'm interested in is only a very small percent. I have dated successful rich men before, but like you meet them and just because they're successful and that you want all of the same things doesn't mean you're compatible, right? Just like any other date. Your whole dating pool just becomes a lot harder to navigate. It's a whole different set of challenges when you're successful. Now, my last and final point is something I think is really important, and that kind of ties into two things, is understanding the value of privacy, and you understand the value of just the things that really matter, like family. We only have one life, truly, and you start learning what really makes you happy at the end of the day and the kind of life that you actually want to live and what is your dream life for yourself. So I think when you don't have money, and obviously I can speak from experience because I used to be broke and have no money at all. When you come from that place, you are kind of in a bit of a survival mode. You just think, once I have money, I'll be happy. But then when you get money and you acquire that, it allows you to actually stop and think, because you know that money itself doesn't make happiness. It makes things easier, absolutely, and can bring happiness with that. I always say about money as well is that money can make big issues seem like mere inconveniences because you have the money and the tools and the resources to be able to afford things to make your life easier. So as a result, that can bring happiness. But you start valuing privacy so much, and you start valuing family and the things that really matter and light you up, because when you have money as well, you start really seeing through people's like BS and all the fake social media stuff. Like, it really becomes so cringe, and you understand that it's not about that, because if you want those designer things, you can literally go afford it. But just because you can doesn't mean it's a right decision, and you're not going to, because true smart people, even the most successful people, they're not out going to buy all of these designer bags. That's why you see some of the most top successful people still driving around in a Toyota Camry. Because it really isn't about these material items. It's about creating a life that can provide for your family, that essentially allows you to buy back your time more, because you're not stuck to a 9 to 5. Be what's really important, because you have that safety net of being able to bring in the income and you can get all these things, but at the end of the day, these things means nothing if you're not doing it with the people that you love the most. Like, love, I truly believe, is the whole point. Whether it's with your family, whether it's with your kids or your pets. At the end of the day, it really does make you start valuing those things. Anyway, guys, I want to leave this video here. I just want to say a huge thank you all so much for watching. You subscribe, and if you want any other video ideas, please make sure that you leave a comment below. That said, I'll see you all in the next video.